The first thing Detective Aaron Hale noticed wasn't the missing person. It was the pattern. Chicago had always been loud sirens, trains, arguments echoing through alleyways, but patterns whispered beneath the noise. Most people never heard them. Aaron did. It's what made him good, and what made nights unbearable. The call came in just after 2:17 a.m. Another missing persons report. Female, early 20s, last seen leaving a late-night diner on the south side. No signs of struggle. No witnesses. No camera footage after she turned the corner. Gone. Just like the others, Aaron stood in the precinct hallway, staring at the growing board of faces. Photos pinned with red string stretched across like veins. Each victim looked different backgrounds, different lives, but their disappearances felt identical. Too identical. "Another one?" a voice asked. Detective Lena Ortiz stepped beside him, holding a paper cup of coffee that had long gone cold. Aaron nodded slowly. Same radius, same time window. Lena glanced at the board. "You think it's connected?" "I don't think," Aaron said quietly. "I know." She studied his face. He wasn't guessing. He never guessed. There were now 11 missing persons over the last 3 months. 11. No bodies. No ransom. No digital traces. Just gone. By morning, the case had been officially escalated. But unofficially, it was already slipping. Chicago had bigger problems: gang violence, drugs, political pressure. Missing persons cases without bodies didn't get priority. They got paperwork. Aaron hated paperwork, so he ignored it. Instead, he went back to the beginning. Victim under Daniel Price. Age 34, construction worker. Last seen walking home after a late shift. Victim under 2, Erica Bloom. Age 19, college student. Vanished after leaving a friend's apartment. Victim number 3, Marcus Reed. Age 42, taxi driver. His cab found abandoned. Different people, different lives, same silence after. Aaron traced his finger along the map pinned on the board. A slow circle began forming in his mind. Not random, never random. "They're being funneled," he muttered. Lena leaned closer. "What?" "Look," Aaron pointed. Each last known location moves slightly inward, like a spiral. Someone's pulling them toward a center. Lena's eyes narrowed. "Toward what?" Aaron didn't answer, because he already knew. That night they drove through the suspected center zone, an older part of Chicago, neglected, forgotten. Buildings leaned like they were tired of standing. Windows were boarded. Streetlights flickered or didn't work at all. It felt wrong. "Feels like the city forgot this place exists," Lena said. Aaron gripped the steering wheel. "Or someone wants it that way." They parked near an abandoned block. No movement. No sound. Even the wind felt like it avoided the street. Aaron stepped out slowly, scanning the buildings. Something deep in his instincts was screaming. Not danger. Something worse. Something patient. "You feel that?" Lena whispered. Aaron nodded. "Yeah." They started walking. Every step echoed too loudly. Every shadow seemed too deep. Then they found it. A building that didn't belong. It wasn't abandoned. Not exactly. It was pretending. The windows were covered like the others, but cleaner. The door was worn, but recently touched. The dust around the steps had been disturbed. "Someone's here," Lena said. Aaron's gaze hardened. Not just someone. He stepped closer to the door and froze. There it was, a faint smell, metallic, rotting. Old, he had smelled it before. Crime scenes, bad ones, very bad ones, very bad ones. Lena covered her nose. "What is that?" "Don't," Aaron cut her off, because saying it made it real. They called for backup. Protocol. But backup was 20 minutes away. And the door was unlocked. Aaron looked at Lena. She looked back. No words, just a decision. He pushed it open. The inside was dark. Too dark. Flashlights cut through layers of dust and silence. The air was thick, heavy, wrong. The floor creaked under their weight, echoing deeper than it should have. As if the building was hollow. Stay close, Aaron whispered. They moved room to room. Empty. Old furniture. Nothing useful. Nothing alive. But the smell, it got stronger. With every step. Basement, Lena said. Aaron had already seen it. A door at the end of a narrow hallway, slightly open. Blackness beyond. The smell poured out of it like a warning, or an invitation. They stood there. Neither moved. For the first time in years, Aaron hesitated. Something about that basement felt final, like crossing into a place where things didn't come back. You thinking what I'm thinking? Lena asked quietly. Yeah, Aaron said. We should wait for backup. He nodded. But his hand was already on the door. It creaked open slowly. The darkness swallowed the flashlight beam. Steps led down. Wooden. Old. Each one looked like it could snap. Aaron took the first step. It groaned beneath him, then another, and another. Lena followed. The smell intensified. Now it wasn't just rot. It was something else. Something cooked. Aaron's stomach tightened. No, he whispered under his breath. Please, no. They reached the bottom. The basement was larger than it should have been. Much larger, like it extended beyond the building itself. Improvised walls, plastic sheets, tables, tools, too many tools. Lena's flashlight trembled. What is this place? Aaron didn't answer, because his light had landed on something. Something on the far wall. Chains. Dozens of them. Some still attached to. He stepped closer and felt his chest tighten. Deep, painfully. Scratches on the wall. Marks. Tallies. Hundreds of them. No. More. Thousands. Dear God, Lena whispered. Then she saw it and screamed. Aaron turned. Too slowly, because he already knew what she had found. A table. Metal. Stained. Not old stains. Recent. On it, pieces. Human. Carefully cut. Organized. Like preparation. Like food. The silence broke. Aaron staggered back. His mind refused to process it. This wasn't just murder. This wasn't just a killer. This was, no one escaped, Lena said, voice shaking violently. Aaron looked at the walls again. The chains, the tallies, the tools, the table, and understood something horrifying. This wasn't a place where people were killed. This was a place where they were kept. For a long time, a sound echoed, soft, from deeper in the basement. Both froze. They weren't alone. Aaron raised his gun. Police, show yourself. Silence. Then, a slow, deliberate footstep from the darkness beyond the plastic curtains. Lena whispered. Backup still 10 minutes out. Aaron didn't respond. His eyes locked on the movement behind the sheet. A shadow. Tall. Still. Watching them. Then it spoke. Calm. Almost gentle. You shouldn't have come down here. Aaron's grip tightened. Step into the light. A pause. Then a soft chuckle. You're already too late. The plastic curtain moved, and something stepped forward, not rushed, not afraid, just certain. Aaron had faced killers before, but this was different, because the man standing in front of them was smiling. The man stepped fully into the light. He didn't look like a monster. That was the first thing that made it worse. Mid-40s, average height, clean clothes, calm posture. His hair was neatly combed, his face almost ordinary. If you passed him on the street, you wouldn't look twice. But his eyes didn't belong to someone human anymore. They were empty in a way that wasn't hollow, but satisfied. Aaron steadied his gun. Hands where I can see them, now. The man raised his hands slowly, almost politely. You're earlier than the others, he said softly. They usually don't find this place. Lena's voice shook, but she forced it out. How many? The man tilted his head slightly, as if considering the question. I stopped counting after the first 100. The words didn't feel real. They couldn't be. Aaron's mind tried to reject it. But the walls behind him, the chains, the carved tallies, the carefully arranged remains, they all confirmed it. "Who are you?" Aaron demanded. The man smiled faintly. "Names don't matter down here," he said. "Up there, they help people pretend they're safe." Aaron took a step forward. "You've been taking people for months." The man's smile widened just slightly. "For years." The air seemed to collapse inward. Years. That meant this wasn't a sudden madness. This wasn't a break. This was a system, a routine, a life. "You planned this," Lena whispered. "Yes," the man said calmly. "Every detail." Aaron's eyes flicked around the basement again, but now he saw it differently. Not chaos, not random brutality. Order, precision. The plastic sheets weren't thrown up, they were measured. The tools weren't scattered, they were categorized. Even the chains were spaced evenly, as if each victim had their assigned place. This wasn't just a killer. This was a process. "Why?" Aaron asked, his voice lower now. The man looked at him, almost curious. "Why does anyone eat?" he replied. Lena flinched. Aaron didn't. He forced himself to stay still, to stay focused. "You expect us to believe this is about survival?" The man chuckled softly. "No. Survival is messy. This is refinement." Silence filled the space again. Then Aaron noticed something. A small detail. Too small to matter unless you were looking for patterns. A camera, mounted high in the corner. Old but functional. Pointed directly at the center of the room. Aaron's stomach dropped. "You've been recording this?" The man's eyes lit up, just a little. "Yes." Lena's voice broke. "Why?" The man stepped closer, just one step, and Aaron immediately tightened his aim. "Stop right there." He stopped, still smiling. "Because," the man said quietly, "no one believes what they can't see." Aaron's pulse pounded in his ears. "How many people know about this?" he asked. The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked past them, toward the stairs, toward the world above, then back at them. "More than you think," he said. Lena's breath caught. "You're lying." "Am I?" Aaron felt it then. The pattern again. The one that had led him here. It didn't stop at the basement. It never had. "You're not working alone," Aaron said. The man didn't confirm it, but he didn't deny it either. That was enough. A noise cracked from above. Distant, faint, but unmistakable. Sirens, backup. The man heard it too, and for the first time, his expression changed. Not fear, not panic. Something else. Disappointment. "They're early," he murmured. Aaron stepped forward. "It's over." The man looked at him and smiled again. "No," he said softly. "It isn't. It happened fast. Too fast." The lights went out. Total darkness swallowed the basement. Lena gasped. "Aaron!" A loud metallic crash echoed somewhere to the side. Then movement. Not just one direction. Multiple. Aaron's instincts screamed, "Stay behind me!" His flashlight flickered back on, but the man was gone. Vanished, like he had never been standing there. "No," Lena whispered. Aaron spun, scanning every corner. Nothing. Just the plastic sheets swaying gently, as if something had just passed through them. Then came the sound. A click. From behind them, Aaron turned just in time to see the basement door at the top of the stairs slam shut. Hard. Locked. The sirens above grew louder. But now they sounded distant. Cut off. Wrong. Backup should be here by now, Lena said, panic rising. Aaron ran to the stairs, pulling at the door. It didn't budge. "Locked from the outside," he muttered. "No," Lena said. "No, no, no." Aaron forced himself to think. There had to be another exit. There had to be. He turned back to the room, and then he saw it. The far wall, behind the plastic sheets. A gap. Slight. Hidden. But there. He moved toward it slowly. Every step felt heavier. Like the basement itself didn't want him to reach it. He pulled the plastic aside and froze. It wasn't another room. It was a tunnel. Narrow. Dark. Extending far beyond what the building could contain. Aaron's mind raced. He's been moving them, he said. Where? Lena asked. Aaron didn't answer, because he didn't know. And that was worse. A faint sound echoed from within the tunnel. Footsteps walking away. Calm, unhurried. He was escaping. Again. Aaron clenched his jaw. We're not letting him get away. Lena grabbed his arm. Aaron, we don't know what's down there. We know what's up here, he snapped. Silence. She looked back at the basement, at the chains, the table, the marks on the walls, then back at him. We end this, she said. Aaron nodded once and stepped into the tunnel. The darkness swallowed them whole. Their flashlights barely cut through it. The air was colder here, damp. The smell lingered, but different now. Older, like this path had been used for a long time. How far does this go? Lena whispered. Aaron shook his head. Doesn't matter. They kept moving, step by step. The tunnel twisted slightly, just enough to disorient. Minutes passed, or maybe seconds. Time didn't feel real anymore. Then they saw it. A faint light ahead. They slowed, guns raised, hearts pounding, and stepped into another room, larger than the basement. Cleaner, newer, and worse, because this one wasn't hidden. This one was active. Tables, equipment, screens, multiple screens, all showing footage, different angles, different rooms, different victims, some alive, some not. Lena staggered back. Oh my God, Aaron's chest tightened. This isn't just him, he said. No, Lena whispered. This is bigger. A voice echoed from the far side of the room. You finally see it. They turned. The man stood there again. But this time, he wasn't alone. Shadows moved behind him. More figures, watching, silent. You thought this was a monster, the man said calmly. But it's not. He spread his arm slightly. It's a system. Aaron's finger tightened on the trigger. You're done. The man smiled. No, he said softly. We're just getting started. Gunshots shattered the air. Chaos erupted. Lights burst. Shadows moved. Screams echoed. And in the confusion, the screens went dark. When the sirens finally reached them, when the backup finally broke through, when the tunnels were searched, they found the basement. They found the evidence. They found the horror. But they didn't find him. Or the others. Weeks later, the case was officially closed. Unresolved. Classified. Buried. Just another file in a city full of them. But Aaron didn't stop. He couldn't, because sometimes, late at night, he would remember the screens, the faces, the ones still alive, and the man's voice, clear, certain, unfinished. This isn't the end. And deep beneath Chicago, it wasn't. It never was.